How's it going, everyone? Pop-Tart here. Welcome back to the Aeroteam Gaming Channel. What a glorious day it is. The A380 is finally here. This will be my very first flight with it. I have not flown it at all. I literally just installed it last night. I was hoping to do another one of my live streams with it for the very first time, but I just unfortunately don't really have the time for that at the moment, so I'll save that route for another day and hopefully hang on to it for the back burner. But this one here will be Emirates Flight 904 from Queen Alia Airport in Amman, Jordan, back to the Emirates home in Dubai. And unfortunately, in terms of scenery here, we really don't have much great for Amman here. It's just the default auto-generated airport with a really awful default parking spot, by the way. The entire parking row here is just like 100 feet from the actual apron. It's weird, so my apologies for that. But I don't really have the time for a longer A380 flight at the moment to any good custom scenery, so hopefully that will come when we reach Dubai. Speaking of which, I have no idea how this video will go. I'm really hoping it'll be a full flight, all the way end to end with a takeoff and landing, but the A380 is a little unstable at the moment. I've heard stories of this, and then I had a full crash when I was even just having a quick glance around last night at it. So, if that happens again, this may just be a takeoff video. We shall see how it goes. So, hopefully I survive. And then one final note, Emirates Flight 904 is supposed to be an evening departure, so it leaves at 6:30 p.m.-ish for about a 10:30 p.m. arrival in Dubai. But for my very first A380 flight, I figured I really wanted to be able to actually see the aircraft, so I'm kind of cheating a little bit. It is now actually 6:30 in the morning, so we still got a nice golden hour glow, but we'll be able to actually see the daytime when we reach Dubai. Oh, without further ado, I guess we'll just hop into the flight deck and get this party started. So, up on the overhead panel here, let's see, we have 4 batteries to turn on this beast here. So, battery 1, 2, essential battery, and the APU battery. And I think because we're so far from the terminal here, it is not giving me the default connected external power, so I might have to poke into the tablet for that here. I'm hoping that will be an option. Let us discover. Ground power unit, yeah, there we go. When I was testing in Frankfurt last night, of course, that was already available there, but I think because we're so far out here, it's the weird default scenery again. My apologies. But hopefully that will connect. Let's see, we have screens coming alive here. God, this thing is so cool. There we go, there's the external power. Alright. 4 external power buses on the A380, my goodness. Alright, there we are. So, let's get the strobes to auto and nav lights on. And ooh, with the fans here going, I should probably check my audio balance here real quick. Alright, I bumped the microphone up a little bit, so hopefully it should be alright. I've never actually recorded a flight with this. Again, I was intending to do a live stream here, so I'm not really sure how to best manage the audio balance for this one, but I shall do my best. So, with that, I was slightly interrupted with my overhead flow, so let's see, we got the lights on. Let's get the ADIRs aligning in nav. And I don't believe the button here for ground control is functional for the on position like it would be on the A320 family and the Phoenix at least. We'll get the crew supply oxygen on. We'll leave the fuel pumps until later. Get the no smoking signs in. Oh, that's right, on the newer aircraft here it's no mobile devices. Interesting. Well, we'll get that to auto, I suppose. And arm the emergency lights. I believe up here we had one more thing here. NSS data. I have absolutely no idea what that switch is. I'm going to put it to on because dark cockpit theory. It should be turned on eventually. I don't know whether that should be now in startup or in like the after start or whatever. Again, I am new to the A380, but hopefully that'll work out just fine. So, with that, let's see. I don't think we have anything more to adjust here. Let me get the lights cranked up a little bit. And do we have a knob for the overhead panel lighting? I don't believe we do. Alright, well that should do it there. So, let us head down here and yeah, we don't really have any of this to do. I'm not sure how compatible GSX is at the moment with the A380. I have not updated my GSX, so I'm not going to mess with it for the purposes of this video. I'll probably experiment with that on my own time. But I'll just do a standard, where's my payload tab on here? It was, here we are. So payload. Alright, we're in kilograms, very good. We're going to want a zero fuel weight of 324.6. Leave it right around there. And I'm gonna use real time. Oh yeah, 20 minutes, that should be fine. Well, I'm a little bit pressed on time. I'm gonna leave that in fast. Oh, that's 5 minutes. Oh, that's a significant difference. Real. And what do we do? How do we load this? Is it going already? I hope it's loading. I have not used this tablet before, so I'm gonna trust that it's going. Wait, do I have to click this one? Oh, I do have to click this one. Aha! Okay, there we go. Begin boarding. Very good. I figured there was something more I'd have to do. Alright. And then for fuel, we're looking at 43.1 tons of fuel. Here we are. 43.1. We're actually gonna have to... Oops! One too many zeros. 43.1. That will actually be a little bit of defueling. So... You know what? I'm gonna do something kind of cheeky. I'm gonna do an instant defuel. And then a real-time refueling. 43.1. There we go. This is a very low fuel sector because it's just about 2.5 hours or so, but that should... There we are. Yeah, refueling. Alright. So, with that going now, I believe we are ready to go on the pre-flight. So, let's pop down here, and... Oh, it's been a hot second since I've done this. I have used the touchscreen avionics in the A350 before in X-Plane, but this is going to be real fun jumping into this now. So, we'll go to the init page here. We're going from Queen Alia International to Dubai, with an alternate of Oscar Tango Hotel Hotel. Interesting, I wonder where that is. I'll have to look that up later. Flight number is going to be Emirates 9 Whiskey for the call sign. We're going to be cruising at flight level 390. Oops, need to select that first. There we go, 390. Cost index of 170. Let's see. I don't think we can do a wind request. I wonder if we can just enter the wind right here. 249 at 68 knots? Will it let us do that? No. Okay, I have no idea what that is doing. I'm going to leave that at that and hope it doesn't break anything. Alright. IRS. Let's see. IRS is aligning on the GPS. Very good. We don't have to do anything more for aligning there. I believe we did on the A350, but I can't remember. It's been like a year since I've used that one. Alright, let's see. From here, let's run the departure flight plan and... Interesting. Where's Dubai on here? I did put that in the... Oh? Oh, it didn't like what I did there. Okay. Oh, because I put in the flight number to reset the flight plan. Oh, interesting. That's weird. Apparently you have to do that first then, top to bottom. Alright. Dubai and Oscar Tango Hotel Hotel. Got 390, 170. Alright, very good. That should do it then. So, next we'll go to flight plan, and there's that looking good there. Okay, so, from Amman here, we'll be departing out runway 26 left on the Col 1 Quebec departure, which is that one there. No transition, and we'll insert that. From Col here, it'll be the November 318 airway. There we are, airways. November 318 to Neville. Oops. Oh dear. Okay, so it doesn't entirely like the on-screen keyboard. That's interesting for sure. So that brought up the... Or not the on-screen keyboard, but the keyboard interaction. So I might have to try using that there. And I heard one of those clicking something. That doesn't look like it was the flaps or speed brakes. I'm hoping that was just like a rudder trim or something. I think it was the L key that did that one. Well, let's insert that for now. And I'll try to figure out what I just did. Was it L? Lights. Okay. Oh, that's weird. Alright, so there's a light keybind somewhere that was... Whoa, it's doing all of them. Okay, so I need to fix that. Strobes and nav lights only. And then I'll just fix my interior lighting here. Let's see. What was that was going? Was that like a dome light or something? Storm lights in op. Where's my dome light? Oh dear, everything's in a different place. It's fine. I don't need a dome light. I will figure that out on my own another time when I'm not wasting video time. Okay. Yeah, I can't find anything. Oh, wait, there's something. No, that's just console lighting. And the switch is also in up. Okay. Yeah, I have no idea where that is. Oh dear, that was a fun lag spike. Alright, IRS is aligned, it looks like. So, from D, why did it not insert my airway? What did I mess up? Am I having skill issues already? Okay. Well, let's try that again. I don't know, I'm not entirely sure what I did. I'll have to check the recording back later. But let me try using this keyboard instead, just for the purpose of this video here. So, we got November 3-1... why can I not pan my screen? Okay, interesting. So it disables mouse control when that's selected. That's fun. Alright, let's try that again. November 318 to Neville, which is... There we are. Go away. That was just left over from when I mistyped November 318 earlier. Alright, then we have Quebec 355 to... What do you mean not in database? November 318, Neville, Quebec 255. Uh-oh, I hope it's not a Navigraph issue. Okay, it liked it that time. Did I mistype it? That's interesting. I'm pretty sure I didn't. Maybe I did, at which point I'm just making a fool of myself. Alright. Well, let's try this again. To... Ludep. There we go, that one worked. Papa 559 to Vuteb. I'm so used to the A320 style of keyboard now that a real QWERTY keyboard, while a lifesaver, is still throwing me off a little bit. There we are, Vuteb, and that will be right into our arrival. So there we are, insert temporary, and then back down to the bottom here. Alright. All the way down to the bottom. My goodness, that was a long airway. Alright, in Dubai here, we will be arriving runway 30 left. We'll take ILS 30 left. There you are. Let me see, what via is that? Vuteb drops us at... Let's see. I unfortunately don't have my fancy Navigraph overlay like I do in Streamlabs, but I'm just looking at the chart here on my second monitor. This is an interesting arrival. It actually routes you all the way around and then straight into the ILS continuously without any RNAV transition or anything. We'll probably get like a shortcut or sequence or something in real life, but it's just UL. For the approach there. Alright. There we have the approach selected, so UL. Via, and this will be the Vuteb 3 Delta arrival, which is that one there, and no transition. Let's insert that and check that on the ND here. Plan mode. So we'll zoom in here. And let's have a step through this. Looking nice and continuous, and the arrival should hopefully be continuous. Indeed it is. There we are. Very good. And straight into the approach. That's the flight plan. Good. Alright, I'll leave that at about 10 miles or whatever. Let's pull up constraints. And from here, I think we're ready to do the safety checks. So, I believe we just have, just one single fire test for the whole A380 here. So that's APU fire engines 1, 2, 3, and 4. Very good. Do we have a flight recorder test on here? I don't know if we do. It was somewhere right around here on the A320. It may be somewhere else, or it may be not there entirely. Again, I'm not quite yet familiar with this aircraft, so... we're probably good. Cargo smoke, we can do this one. Very good. Forward aft discharge and takeoff config. Very good. Alright, oh, and I think we can do an indicator test. Here we are. I'm not really going to take the time to go through everything, of course, because it's a flight simulator. We're not going to have any lights burned out. I just like looking at the pretty lights. So we'll get that back to normal, and from here we can start up our APU. Pop that on and get the fuel pumps on. And I'm not really sure what the proper procedure is for fuel pumps. So basically, for all the years I've done the A320, I usually always do APU on and then fuel pumps on, because I believe I saw that in a couple of the videos I followed way back when. I've also seen just APU start and then only turning on fuel pumps with the pressurization before pushback. That actually seems to be a lot more prevalent, so this is just like a force of habit. That might actually probably be the way you're supposed to do it in real life, or it might depend on operators. Some do it this way or whatever. I don't know. I'm not an expert. I'm a little bit lost on that. I'll try to look into that at some point, but that's just kind of what I do for fun there. Fuel pumps on after APU start. And what I usually do then is do all of my altimeters and departure briefing and all that while the APU is starting up here, but I've waffled on so much about it that we already have flap open, so I'll give that a push there. And now I can do my departure information. So, let's see, the weather here in Amman, we have altimeter 1016. Oops, we have altimeter synced here. Okay, interesting. Let me see if I can disable that on the settings. Perhaps. Let's see, sim options. Default units. I don't know if I don't want to spend too much time wasting around here, but it might be under aircraft options. I probably should have had a look at this earlier. Ah well, I'll leave it as it is for now, and I'll poke around in it on my own time. Alright, how are we doing on payload here? About 10 minutes remaining. Alright. So, let's see, we have the altimeter set, 1016, and okay, the standby isn't synced, so I can set that one myself. Very good. Then, let's pop over to the surveillance page, and set the transponder. We'll start 2024 for good luck. And we'll go auto, TARA. I believe outside of the US, you're supposed to leave this off as well, but I just do this sometimes just to make it easy for myself. Again, my procedures are kind of like just kit bashed from a bunch of different operators into something that kind of makes sense for me that I can apply to a bunch of different aircraft. So I'm not entirely realistic in my procedures. I'm trying to work on that, but I'm just here to have fun. So, we have the transponder set there, and then let's brief the departure. So, the Coldy 1 Delta, again here's on a live stream, I usually pull it up on my fun little Navigraph overlay, but we shall do this instead. So we have a top altitude of... no top altitude actually. No initial climb clearance. So it'd probably just be from air traffic control, so I'll set, I don't know, like 130 or something to start with. And let's see, we'll leave it in nav departure. Interesting. I don't know why heading is not... I mean, IRS is aligned, so we should be able to select managed heading now, at least on an A320 series. A380 might be different. Interesting. Maybe it changes over with Toga or something. I'll have to have a look at that. But for now, I guess just to be safe, I'll set runway heading. Again, that's 24, that's runway, or not runway, heading 256. 256, there we go. And, oh, flight directors are off, that'd do it. There we go, flight directors on, and now can we select managed? We cannot. Okay. That will be a problem for another time, when we're preparing for departure. So, I think that'll do it for now then. So the APU should be available, indeed it is, so we'll go APU bleed on, and... ooh, this kind of worries me now, because usually, you know, you'd go APU bleed on and then kick off the external power. I actually haven't looked into this, I believe, with 4 external powers. I mean, doesn't the A380 have like 2 APUs or something? I'll have to look into that again. I might be mixing that up with something else, but hopefully we should be okay to kick off all 4 external powers right now and be fully self-sustained. Hopefully nothing bad happens. Again, first A380 flight. Still getting used to it. Alright, so we should have about 6 minutes left on the boarding now, so have to wait for that before we can get any of the performance done. Let's do a little walk around, that might be kind of fun. This is the FS Realistic first-person view. For some reason it spawns you like the 30-foot tall giant in this. I noticed that last night when I was doing this. I'm gonna have to crank my head down a bunch there. Alright, here we are. God, it's awesome. Yeah, so this livery here is the Hues by Horizon Emirates A380. This seems to be pretty much like the best livery that's been created for this yet. Unfortunately, we don't have any like canvas liveries. But yeah, I'll just pace around here a little bit while we wait for the loading to finish. Now, I haven't actually looked into it. I really should have, considering I'm a huge engine nerd, but I don't know if the FlyByWire A380 actually simulates both engine variants, and I also forgot to look up which Emirates uses before starting this video. I can't remember if they use the Trent 900s or the GP 7000s, but either way, the ones we have here are quite gorgeous. Why is my sprint key not working? Here we go. There we go. Yeah, the FS Realistic walkaround is a little bit funky sometimes. I'm hoping that the FS 2024 walkaround will be a lot more user-friendly. It looks like it will be from what we've seen in the Tech Alpha, but yeah, God, that little glow with the position light there is so cool. I love Microsoft Flight Sim lighting sometimes. And then you turn around and there's the weird funky shadows. That will be another thing I won't miss when Flight Sim 2024 comes around. Those ray trace shadows look awesome. Look at the size of these flap track fairings. God, this is so cool. Ah, what a beauty. We have a massive main landing gear here, the center body and the wing ones here. Looks like we don't have too much detail on the underwing connection there. Now that could very well be the... oh yeah, we just got a hole straight through there. This is likely the FS Realistic conflicting with that. I've noticed it can mess up the external model sometimes, like on the Phoenix, you have just a hole straight through the underside right there. So I'll have to investigate that in my own time from like a drone camera or something. So I'll just take that with a grain of salt. And yeah, this is the new Emirates livery. I believe I forgot to mention in the introduction, but this was just repainted a little bit ago. A6 EOG on this one. Oh man, I just love doing walkarounds in the sim, like even with a normal aircraft, because you can it really lets you feel the scale of it before you walk in and do the flight, but this is just something else. Oh wow. Alright, well, 5 minutes should definitely have passed by now, so I will hightail it back to the flight deck here and see what's going on. We'll just have one more pass around this wing here from the lit side now. God, this is so cool. Well, alright, very good. I have wasted enough time with that now, so we'll pop back in here and see what's going on. And we actually still have 2 minutes left there. Fueling should be finished by now. Indeed it is. So I will head up here and pop the seatbelt signs on. You know what? It's not like the Phoenix where we have to wait for boarding to finish for the slightly randomized load sheet to finish, so I can probably start doing the weight and balance now from the SimBrief flight plan. So we have our zero fuel weight of 324.6, and block fuel is going to be 43.1. From there, our zero fuel weight center of gravity is going to be... Whoa, my camera axis is all off. There we go. Let's see. Zero fuel weight center of gravity 35.88, or 0.58, excuse me, planned. So we'll go 35.6, there we go. Now, SimBrief is telling me that's going to be 358 passengers. I'm not sure what it's actually doing here. That's going to be 236 passengers planned. Okay. Interesting. So, SimBrief is probably just assuming zero cargo, as they usually do, unfortunately. But having cargo is cool, so I'll just go with that there. 236 passengers. Now, I filled out the cost index on the init, didn't I? Oh, I didn't. What the hell? Okay, so redoing the flight plan might have messed that up, maybe? I definitely double-checked that earlier. We had our cruise altitude and cost index in there, so we'll do 390, cost index 170 again. I'm not sure what reset that. It might have been doing the flight plan, but I've always been able to fill those out in the past beforehand, on the A350 at least, but this might be different or more accurate or a bug or who knows or what. But I'll just go back to fuel and load here. There we are, cost index 170, and we're all good. Now, performance. This is where I'm going to have to pull up the SimBrief performance calculator, unfortunately. We don't have a an in-sim performance calculator yet. Hopefully that will be coming soon. It's probably waiting because the flight performance is still being worked on with the alpha. But I'll just fill this out here real quick. We've got runway 26 left at OJAI. Takeoff weight from SimBrief we have 366.7. We'll go optimum flap setting and toga flex. Believe weather should be populated here, maybe. Yeah, wind's calm. Okay, that's live weather. Let us calculate that and see what we have. So that's going to give us V1 of 133, rotating at 147, and V2 151. This is going to be a flaps 1 departure. We are going to have a flex 66 takeoff rating. Come on, there we go, 66. Packs on, anti-ice off. Takeoff trim is going to be... Now, this is one thing that has quite confused me in the past, with the A350 avionics even. So, I'm pretty sure what I've always done for this is I set the magenta value there, because I'm fairly sure that's what's set from, or that's what's automatically populated by the gross weight center of gravity, because if I shift the trim, I actually can't do it now because we don't have hydraulic pressure, but I think the manual trim is on the left side, and this is what it should be set to, so we'll set 36.0 there. I am going to very much have to research that, because that might actually not be how it works, but I'm doing my best. So, we will leave it at that for now. Let's see, transition altitude here is going to be flight level 130, 13,000 feet, and that should do it from there. I believe everything else should be set, so we have climb, cruise, yeah, nothing more to set there for the performance. I just love these avionics though, this is so awesome. Alright, let's see, we should be all boarded up now. Yep, boarding is finished, so... And very good, so the center of gravity or anything didn't change with that, so we should be all good to start. Now normally, what I do here is do a GSX pushback, but we're kind of already on the taxi line because of the, again, as I mentioned, absolutely awful default start positions. So I might just avoid messing with GSX on the very first flight here, because again, I haven't updated it. I don't know how well it plays with the A380 yet. I didn't see anything for it in the change logs when I checked, but yeah, I don't want to risk it, because I have had new aircraft in the past where GSX just absolutely messes it up. And yeah, the very first flight I did in the iniBuilds A320neo V2 for the default one, I loaded with GSX, and then GSX messed up the doors when it closed, so the doors were closed on the model and open in the simulator, so the aircraft wouldn't pressurize, and it just completely bodged the whole flight. That was dreadfully unfortunate. I love GSX, but yeah, so we'll just do a static start here and then taxi out myself. For that, let's get the beacon light on. Let's see, APU bleed is on, and what else? I'm completely blanking on my Airbus procedures now. I just flew a bunch of Boeing last weekend, so it kind of messed me up a little bit. Beacon light on, flight plan up on the right box. I'll go off of serve here to FMS2, and then flight plan. And I think we're ready to just start away then. So, I did see, I'm very glad I did last night, that the engine start switch is up here instead of on the center console. So we'll go ignition start, and let's start 3 and 4. So we have numbers up here on the ECAM? ICAS? Yeah, ECAM for Airbus. Oof. Getting myself all tangled up here. Alright, let's start 3 and 4. I have a nice cabin view here for this one. I'll start 1 and 2 from the flight deck to be a good pilot and watch the numbers, but these ones I just want to listen to the Boris sounds for my first time. I hope. What did I mess up? Oops, that would have been embarrassing if I sat there any longer. Let's see, why are you not wanting to start? That is an interesting predicament, because I just did a fine engine start last night. How interesting. I have APU bleed on, I'm definitely in ignition start. And Let's see. Well, there's oil pressure, but I'm not getting any N3 rotation because I didn't start the fuel pumps. No, I did. I got that with the APU start earlier. It wouldn't be a Pop-Tart video without making an absolute fool of myself at some point or another. How odd. So that does increase the oil pressure. We have absolutely no N3 rotation or even hatchbox or indication of start valve on there. Let's have a look at the air page, which is bleed. We have APU bleed supplying, very good. The oil temperature is rising as well. We have vibration and absolutely no rotation. That is extremely odd. Okay, oil pressure is stabilizing. Am I an absolute fool? I don't think I am. I really hope it isn't bugged out. That would be unfortunate. Let's see, yeah, bleeds are all on. No lights are out on the panel here. We have the cross bleed open. Does it not like starting 2 at once? I mean, I started 2 at once last night, and that's how it worked in real life. I'm going to stop the recording here for a brief moment and see if I can investigate this further. That is unfortunate. Oh, well, that's fun for sure. I don't know what I just did. Well, this is even more bad news. My throttles are completely frozen. I'm moving them on my quadrant here, and nothing is happening. Something is definitely bugged out. In fact, my side stick is frozen as well. I'm moving it here, and nothing is happening. I love Microsoft Flight Sim. Okay, so I just restarted the sim completely, and my hardware controls are now unlocked, so I believe that was a Microsoft Flight Sim bug out. I've had that happen before, actually, come to remember, in the Just Flight Fokker 28 last year, where the hardware controls completely locked up and I didn't realize until it came time for engine start, and then the bleed systems wouldn't behave and the engines wouldn't start. And now that's happened literally once again here. I thought that was a Just Flight bug, but it seems like it might be just Microsoft Flight Sim being awesome as usual. I love Microsoft Flight Sim. So, I took about 15 minutes to do the complete pre-flight all over again, get everything started up. So, oops, except for the departure briefing apparently. I'll just set that altitude back to what I did there, and then the runway heading was 256, I do believe. Yes, indeed, 256. Ignore that, pretend that everything is exactly the same. We don't have any continuity errors to worry about. Everything is just fine. It's all wonderful. Oops, that's not what I meant to hit. There we go, flight director's on. Okay, everything is fine. Now, moment of truth. Let's see what happens when we go beacon light on, engines to start. We got the numbers here, and let's start 3 and 4. I'll start from the cockpit this time. Hey, wouldn't you know, there's our start boxes. Now the bleed systems are working just fine. We have bleed pressure there, N3. And oil pressure is actually staying at 0 as it's supposed to, instead of just increasing while no engine behavior is happening at all. Here we go. There's fuel flow, EGT is rising. N1. Oil pressure. And I was hoping to be able to watch the first start from the cabin to appreciate the Boris sounds, but it looks like I'll have to, well, not it looks like I did have to watch the instruments here to make sure the plane was actually behaving itself. But 1 and 2 I'll watch from the cabin. Engine stabilize. Good start on 1 and 2. There's a veil. We're golden. Starting 1 and 2, did I just say? Good start on 3 and 4. Now starting 1 and 2. And this one we'll watch from the cabin. On the left side here I have one from the second deck, and now I'll shut up and listen to the Boris sounds. God, that just knocks your freaking socks off. Alright, that's a good start on 1 and 2, hopefully. Let's see. We have engine stabilized, yes. Aha, there's one thing I forgot from my pre-flight when I was trying to hurry. Let's get the transponder fixed, 2024, and I am not sure how to use it from here. I think we might have to go to the serve page for this one. Auto, TARA, and then back to the flight plan page. There we are. Alright, so, yes, good start on 1 and 2, and... oh, I forgot to set the standby altimeter there as well. A lot of continuity errors. Oh, well. Alright, this was a Flaps 1 departure, so let's set Flaps 1. That is just the coolest sound in all of aviation, I swear to God. Alright, after start checklist, let's go APU bleed off, engine start to norm, APU off, and muscle memory was trying to hit the engine start switch down there, but it is up on the overhead, and I already did that. Alright, reset the rudder trim, and we'll do a flight control check. So, we have back, forward, left, right, left rudder, and right rudder. Now I see our trim is not quite set yet. I think this should be automatically set based on that value from the FMS or the center of gravity or whatever after engine start. It doesn't look like that happened. I don't know if I am unfamiliar with the system and I'm making a fool of myself again, or if that's a bug or incompleteness or what, but I'm going to set this here to 36% and hope that that means good things are happening. Again, I'm not entirely quite familiar with A380 procedures. I have 1,000 hours in the A320, not quite so here. Very first flight. Alright, there we are. 36% is set, and I'm going to watch that flight control check from the cabin here. God, what an awesome wing. Alright, so we should be good to go now. So, let's get the nose lights to taxi, and well, we'll brief the taxi first here, actually. So, again, once again, here's where I would pull up the very cool Navigraph overlay for the stream, but I can't exactly do that here, and I don't want to edit this too much afterwards. I'm going to be gone for a while here. I want to get this out as soon as possible, so I'm just going to say we're up here on the north apron. We have to get down to 2 sits left. It's basically on, like, the other corner of the airport here. So I'm going to taxi out from the north apron to November. Let's take a right Foxtrot, and then 2 sits left via Alpha, hold short Alpha. Yeah, that should do it. Alright, let's do that. Now, turning out here is going to be interesting, because the A380 taxis like a frickin' sand crawler, so this 90-degree turn out here is going to be something special. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it, but we have the taxi light on, turn off the... or release the parking brake, rather. And let's see if we can make this rolling here. I'll add a little bit of power, and I don't know if this 90-degree turn will skid the nose wheel. It very well might. I don't know how this thing turns at tight corners. I know the 777 turns really nicely. Oh yeah, okay, we kind of got this a little bit. The 777 turns really nicely if you ease into it slowly enough. The PMDG 737 just hates 90-degree turns, and anything more than like 30 or whatever, and it just skids the nose wheel no matter how slow you're going. But that's a sim bug, I'm like 90% sure, because even like Flight Deck Sim and others complain about it. But that was okay-ish. So we're good. We made it. Alright, so I think November is just straight ahead here. Yeah, we're just staying on this one. That'll be the first right on Foxtrot. Actually, let me have a look at what they did on Flight Radar here. What did they take? Aha! They take Golf instead of Foxtrot for that southbound pattern. Oh, and I have a ping on Discord from the FlyByWire server right now even, with a new stable update, literally as I'm recording this right now, 2 minutes ago. So I will not be able to make use of that, unfortunately. I can't tell exactly what kind of fixes there are. Oh, a fix for doors opening by themselves. Well, that's a fun bug. Hopefully that doesn't happen to us. Oh goodness. Alright. I'm gonna add a little bit more power here to roll out. I'm gonna try to keep it at around 10 knots for this taxi or so, because, again, this thing turns like a barge. It's gonna be interesting to manage for sure. Alright, second right here. What a beauty. Oh my goodness. I still can't believe it. After all this time. I really hope this flight doesn't crash on me, because I would love to be able to see this all the way through. But such are the joys of working with an alpha. I mean, as it is right now, this is using 7 gigs of my RAM. And yeah, this is in default auto-generated scenery. We're flying into Dubai, which is iniBuilds. They are not known for their optimization. I do have the iniBuild scenery, by the way, so I forgot to mention that in the introduction. But yeah, it's not very well optimized, and neither is the A380 here. When I was testing this in Frankfurt last night, it was using about 16 gigs of my 32, and because I forgot to close out Firefox and a couple others in the background, it actually did a hard crash from running out of virtual memory, which very much terrified me for the prospect of a full flight, so I'm hoping it doesn't overflow too much when we get to Dubai. It very well might, at which point I will be a very sad Pop-Tart, but I'll do what I can. I probably took that turn a little bit too slow, actually. I should have added some power in through that. This thing's really weird for taxiing, too, because I don't know if it's just how the sensitivity of it, or if I'm like using the thrust references differently or whatever, but I feel like if I just give it like the tiniest little crack of power, let's see, because like 20% thrust is about 30% N1. Yeah, interesting. Well, it also rolls on its own nicely, but that also might be just because I am light on fuel. But yeah, as I was trying to say before I derailed myself, it feels like the tiniest little crack of power gets this thing like really rolling, even though it's just this huge cruise ship of a plane. Well, it might be because we're just so low fueled and we have to have those 4 insanely powerful engines pushing us. It will be interesting to see. I'm probably going to try to do an overnight flight here tonight after this, if this goes well enough and doesn't crash and burn terribly. So it'll be interesting for me to see how that one handles in terms of the weight difference for fuel for a long haul. Okay, that turn was pretty nice there. Oh yeah, that was awesome. God, I love the A380. Alright, and one more thing I was going to do before I distracted myself with commentary rolling out of there was the before takeoff checklist here. So we'll get the auto brakes armed RTO. Let's see, we have flap set for 1, or flap set 1 for departure. Arm the speed brakes, do a takeoff config check. Config normal, very good. I don't think we have to do anything for the predictive wind shear on the radio panels here like we would in the A320 series. I don't know. I didn't see anything pop up on the takeoff config there, so it should be alright. Now this branch here on Alpha is quite a ways. This is like halfway down the runway here, so I'm going to try to take this one a little bit more high speed. Hopefully that works alright. Kick it up to like maybe 30 knots and see how the A380 does for handling from there. Oh, that was a punch there. Yeah, we had no problem hitting 30 knots. It's interesting, yeah, that was about like 20 to 25% thrust. I'm not entirely sure what the breakaway thrust and taxi range is for this one, but Yeah, we are going. Oh, and I forgot to restart FS Realistic.
FS Realistic connecting.
There's the annoying auto voice and connected. There we go. Okay. So now we should get nice camera movements for departure. That's the one thing that always bothered me about Microsoft Flight Sim before FS Realistic was just how static the camera felt. It felt like a GoPro instead of being an actual person experiencing the vibration and rumbling of a huge aircraft barreling down the runway. That's what I always loved about XP Realistic and X-Plane. And then the default camera movements in Microsoft Flight Sim were just really not up to par with that. Like, even here, the camera is still pretty static. When the X-Plane version of the camera bobbing for XP Realistic would be nice and bouncy. I see the end coming up here, so I'm going to pull the engines back and start braking. But yeah. I was really hoping that Flight Sim 2024 would have better either default camera implementation or more camera connectivity for third-party like FS Realistic, because right now FS Realistic only has the like up-down Y-axis or whatever, no roll or tilt or side-to-side or anything like that where you really feel the vibration like in XP Realistic, but alas, it looks like not this is the case. Oh well. Well, I have now rambled my way all the way to the runway, so we are ready to go. I think the hold short bar is up there. Pretty sure that's it? Yeah, that's it. Okay. Sometimes the default sceneries are not quite so great with where they auto-generate things like that. Sometimes they're just not there at all, which is really awesome. But let us say that we are cleared for departure, so let's get the landing lights on, nose to takeoff, excuse me. What's this one? Runway turnoff and camera. Oh, interesting. Alright. And wing lights on. Loader light is in up. We'll get the strobe lights on. And I think I need to get a tiny little crack more power here to roll out. And start the clock. Clear left, clear right. I should have done that before the whole short line, but ah well, professional pilot here. Alright, let's see how badly I can mess up this lineup. I'm gonna try doing, like, what they recommend for the 777, which is 2 seconds past the center line, and then ease into a right turn, and I'll need to add more power. I'm already slowing down. Oh no. Oh, it really loses inertia when the nose wheel's at 90. Alright, let's roll it out here. Yeah, I think I overshot a little bit. Oh, definitely. Yeah. Oh, well. Well, it's time. Let's go 50%. Stable. Man flight 66, SRS runway, auto thrust blue. Airspeed is alive, takeoff power set. What a sound that is. 100 knots. There's V1. And it's auto-rotating. That's interesting. There's rotate. Positive rate, gear up. Wow. This is it. This is the moment. This is what we've been waiting for. This is what it's all about. Here comes 1,000. Well, actually, I forgot to set NABP information for the departure, so we'll just accelerate at 1,500. There we are. There's thrust climb, open climb. Not open climb, why am I not in nav? There we go, there's nav, and climb. Alright. Interesting, so that should change over, didn't happen automatically. There's above the S-speed, we'll go slats up. And we have to pitch up quite a bit there to maintain that 210 knot departure speed. I have no idea how audible my microphone is at all right now. I might be completely drowned out by the Takeoff, these glorious engines. Oh my goodness, what a sight that is. Alright, gotta pay attention. Let's see, after takeoff we'll go taxi lights off, flaps are up, speed brakes disarm, anti-ice not required, weather radar not required. Roll into this left turn here. We'll be keeping 210 knots until after this next waypoint it loads. We are climbing like a rocket. We got 4,000 feet per minute. We're already at 9,000. God, this is awesome. What a cool view, too. Alright, there's 10,000 already, but we can't do anything about the speed until after that 210 knot restriction. Let's keep climbing up to, let's say 240 for now. And we'll go... Oops, that's not the nose light I meant to turn off. Runway turn off and taxi light. There we go. Then we'll do the landing light. Wing light off and seatbelts off. Here comes the transition altitude at 130. Go altimeters to standard. There we go. And 6 across both sides. Set standard on the standby as well. Now the other interesting thing is, as I was mentioning earlier, actually, first here I'm going to check my audio balance real quick here, make sure I'm actually audible above the engines. Oh man, I was absolutely not. Well, professional YouTuber moment. I've just cranked up the microphone even more here, so hopefully this will be alright. This is as far as I can go with the Bandicam settings. I was going to mention something before I checked that. I have short-term memory loss, oh dear. Yeah, that's right, altimeter syncing. Okay, so, yeah, I was looking in the flypad settings while I was setting up the flight, the second time that is, while I was trying to speedrun that. And while I was waiting for the IRS to finish aligning, I looked into the settings for that, and apparently my altimeter syncing is already disabled as the default setting. So it shouldn't be doing that. That might just be a bug, or whatever, but I don't know what's going on with that. Very fun. Anyways, there's past Lotez now, so we'll, that 210 knot restriction will kick out there, and we'll start climbing up to, or not climbing up to, but accelerating up to cruise speed, or final climb speed at least. And once we're settled in on that acceleration there, I will pop in Autopilot 1. God, this is so freaking cool. It's here. It's finally here. That's hard to believe. Well, I don't think there's too much else to cover for the cruise here, so I'm probably going to cut out here, maybe run some B-roll footage from the cruise, but, oops, there's flight level 240, I forgot to roll it up to, what do we say, 390 for the cruise altitude here. There we are, thrust climb, very good. Yeah, so maybe I'll run some B-roll footage from the cruise or something to fill up the time, and then I will hopefully see you at the start of descent. Again, I am very worried that we might lose this flight due to instabilities with the alpha release. We shall have to see what happens. I was thinking that if that happens I'd just cancel the recording, but I've put too much work into this now, especially with the second startup, that I kind of don't want to cancel this if I lose the end of the flight, so I might just turn this into like a takeoff video or something, but if that happens you'll see a very sad Pop-Tart and I will run the outro then. Otherwise, hopefully, I shall see you in the descent. Alright, so we've been chugging along for an hour 56 now. We're about 30 miles out from top of descent here. So I'll get the approach information plugged in. So our winds in Dubai, we've got 200 degrees at 3 knots. 3 knots, there we go. Outside air temperature is 29 degrees Celsius. Extremely toasty. Altimeter is going to be 1013, standard, and that is everything there. We'll get the minimums plugged in when we brief the approach later along in the course, but yeah, for now I'll just wait out this top of descent here. Alright, we've got about 5 miles till top of descent, so I'll scroll it down to, let's say, 12,000, which is the next altitude restriction in the descent here, and give that a push. It does indeed look like we have full VNAV capability in the A380 now, so that is quite exciting. I don't even know if it's on the stable branch on the A320, the A320NX. I forget exactly the abbreviation they use, but the FlyByWire A380 is what I meant to say. I know it's been in the development branch for just ages and ages now, but I don't know if it's ever been pushed to stable. But yeah, here we go. Fully managed VNAV on a freeware aircraft. That is so cool. Let's pull up constraints here, and I'll zoom out a little bit more actually. Let's leave it about 80 miles. So yeah. Once again, another place where I'd bring up the chart overlay, but I don't have it connected on the flypad here, and I don't have exactly the time to edit it, unfortunately, after the fact for a video purposes. But coming in here, this next waypoint right here is Vuteb, which has a 12,000 or below restriction at 230 knots. Then we'll be basically overflying the airfield at padded to 10 knots, 7,000 or above. We're taking the 3 Delta, I believe? Is it 3 Delta or 3 Charlie? 3 Delta, alright, and that will be heading kind of southbound, and then taking the left-hand traffic, I believe? Yeah, south of the airfield, downwind, and then lining up on the kind of a built-in RNAV transition in that arrival there. I imagine we'll probably give ourselves a shortcut somewhere right around here. I'm going to zoom in a little bit actually just to show it on the map here so I have something to talk about. So, right around down here, this is what I'm talking about. So we've got this big left-hand traffic block right here. 7,000 feet or below right here at Dubai 532. And then the approach itself, Modus is right here, is 2,000 or above. Same for Sedpo, but Modus is a 6-mile final, so we'll probably want to be about 3,000 or so at Sedpo, so we can probably just keep decelerating a little bit and hold that in there instead of letting it stay managed, and then we can get ourselves a shortcut around there just to save a little bit of time. I imagine that's what they do in real life. So, let's see. And yeah, we stayed at 39,000 feet. It's so short of a sector for an A380 at least that there wasn't room for a step climb at all. So that was pretty much the, Actually, I think is that the ceiling of the A380? That is a good question to ask, in fact, because I have, again, never flown the A380 before. 39... Okay, so its ceiling is 43,000 feet, but, so yeah, we still had a couple steps left from flight level 390, but, oops, didn't mean to do that. But yeah, that was the highest we got to there. But plunging through 30,000 now. Let's see, I'll start briefing a little bit more of the approach, I suppose. So let's pull up the performance page here. And for the approach, let's see, our minimums we've got, for a Cat 1 ILS, it'll be 260 baro, it looks like. Yeah. Alright. Baro 260. There we are. We'll be doing a flaps full landing. Transition is going to be flight level 150, it looks like. There we go. And yeah, I think that's all we have to worry about there. Another thing I'm very curious about is brake to vacate, because apparently that is indeed modeled in FlyByWire here. I haven't quite figured out where to program that in the FMS here. I pulled up a guide real quick along the side from the FlyByWire docs. I have not glanced at it in the slightest yet, though. But let's see, BTV setup. Oh, interesting. It's done from the plan view here. Is it? I don't know. I should probably give this an actual thorough read here real quick while we're just in this part of the descent with not much going on here. So I'll have a glance through that real quick here and then be back. Alright, I think I see where to be going for this. So, well, first I'm going to scroll my altitude down to 7,000 now. But we'll be going to plan here and then into zoom. Then in this little menu, I'll pull up, oh goodness, OMDB. Here we go, and display airport. Let's hope this works. I also linked my Navigraph account real quick here. Oops, lag spike. So, hopefully this will work. There we go. Oh, that's so cool! Alright, let's zoom in a little ways here. Then, let's see. So we have, it's under map data. Alright, that's not related. So if that there, now somehow we have to select the vacating taxiway somewhere around here. So we'll probably want to be taking the... Oh, here we go. Alright, let's zoom in there. I see. Okay, that's how you drag yourself around. Alright, and as I was trying to say before I sidetracked myself, we'll probably want to vacate around Kilo 8. It looks like they use Kilo 9 in real life here, actually, but we'll be parking right on the southeast side right here. What is that? That would be stand... oops, I pinned the wrong chart to look at. Here we are. There's the right parking stands. That is not the right parking stands. Where are you? That's because I'm in the wrong place. Here we go. Alright. Fourth time's the charm. There we go. Alright. Delta 9, that's where we're headed. Delta 9 right in this corner right here. So for that, again, they use Kilo 9 in real life, but we don't have a full landing calculator here in the sim right now, so I don't know what our landing distance would be. I'm going to shoot for Kilo 8 just to be safe. Kilo 6 is probably pushing it too far. I mean, we are a pretty lightly loaded A380. So, let's go Kilo 8. Can we select that? We cannot. How do we select that then? Let's find out. Again, first flight. I'm learning things on the fly. It's probably not a good idea. But, we have gotten below the transition altitude here, so I will grab that real quick. That's going to be... oh, right, 1013, just standard pressure. There we go. And 1013 on the other side as well. Alright, so... we have the FlyByWire docks on the right side up again. And... let's see. Okay, so do we have to select a runway? We have the runway selected in the FMS. Yes, right there, showing. That's 30 left, I believe I said. Yes, 30 left. And... Kilo 8 shows up when you hover over it, but... I'm not sure how to select it. I am making a fool of myself live on camera. That is awesome. Finalize the selection. The runway exit is selected by clicking on the corresponding label. But that's what I'm doing! Kilo 8. Nothing is happening. Alright, I'm going to pause the recording once again while I figure this out. Aha! There we go. 30 left was shown as the approach with the green arrow, but I had to select 31 left there on the identifier for BTV to activate. There we go. Then we'll head up here to Kilo 8. There's Kilo 9 and Kilo 8 right here. We'll select Kilo 8. Oh, there it is, Kilo 8. Excellent. And then I believe once we have that all showing there, we activate BTV to arm that. BTV is armed in blue and identified there on the map. God, that's so cool. I love these avionics already. This is awesome. Alright, we're passing through flight level 120 now, so I will pull out of plan mode there, back into arc, and then let's leave it about a 40-mile zoom. Alright, that was really cool, I'm not gonna lie. Alright, so once we have that, so we're basically just heading down to 7,000 at Patid there, and the VNav is going to probably level us at it is going to level us at 7,000 there because we have that big long transition into the approach there. But so once we hit that, then I'll probably pop it into an open descent and keep it going down to 3,000. Not sure there's a whole much else to do now. We've decelerated down to that 230 knot restriction already, even above 10,000, so the descent's pretty slow here, only 800 feet per minute at the moment. It's a really cool cloud bank. Grimy windshield too, my goodness. Oh yeah. Alright, well, let's see. I'll have a look at my chart again while we're waiting. So after Kilo 8 vacating there, and if we miss Kilo 8 and it doesn't break in time, then we can still make that Kilo 6, but sharp left after Kilo 8 there, in on Kilo, then a right in Juliet 3 here, down around, I could pull this up on the plan actually, so that'll be, here we are. So after Kilo 8 we'll take that tight left out here, and then around, so we'll want to probably keep kicking on the brakes after the auto brake does its job. And then so we'll take Kilo, which is the outer taxiway here, then a right in Juliet 3, and up and in there to Delta 9, which is kind of this diagonal stand right here in there. Almost to 10,000 feet, pop it back into arc mode, give me 40 miles, there we go. Almost to 10,000. Come on. There we go. Alright, with that we'll go landing lights on. Wing lights. Seatbelt signs on. This is kind of throwing me off because I'm used to, on the 320s, having the landing lights in the middle and then the nose lights on the outside that you leave off until popping them on approach. But now it's got this kind of staggered design here with the nose lights on the right side, but then the runway turnoff lights, which I'd assume you also keep off until approach? That's what I did on the 320 at least, but, interesting. Yeah, I'll have to look into exactly when to use that, because you'd think with Airbus philosophy that they'd keep it all, kind of linear for that phase of flight, so that it would be looking like this, and then you'd pop on the nose lights on approach, but, I don't know. I'll figure it out eventually. I'm really hoping performance doesn't get too nasty when we get into INI Dubai here. We're just about overflying the airfield now. Well, not now, but in about 20 miles, so we shall soon see. Let's grab that range in a little bit more there. Let's see, what shall our approach speed can be? 133 knots. That's pretty slow, actually. That's very impressive. Crazy powerful wing on this thing. Well, isn't that cool? I had just been saying earlier, what a strange bug that is, the doors open by themselves. And I had the tablet here open, then all of a sudden, like, what's this? 5 doors at once just pop open on the screen, and wouldn't you know, indeed they did. That is so cool. So we've just killed everyone. But, I mean, we're below 10,000, so hopefully they can deal with it, and, I mean, they won't suffocate, it'll just be a bit windy in the back there. Oh, goodness. What's that doing for a pressurization? Where are we? Yep, Delta P is down to 0, we are fully depressurized, that is awesome. I'll have to remember to update after this one. Oh dear. Well, let's see. So there's 7,000 at, what was that last waypoint? That was Patid, where we had the 210 knot restrictions. We're now down to 210 knots and 7,000 or above. So it'll probably want to hold 7,000 here for a little while, as I was mentioning. It actually won't. It does want to descend, but I'm messing it up anyways because I had 7,000 pre-selected there. So I will... Actually, I'm going to go vert speed for this here because I don't know how steeply it dives with an open climb yet. I'll just roll it down about like 800 feet per minute or so. And, yeah, I'll take it from there. Yeah, that's going to be just fine, because that'll have us leveling way down there, about parallel with OLDOT. And again, we want to be kind of at 3,000. By Uldot completely blanked in the middle of my sentence there. That's awesome. I'm tired. But we're now pretty much overhead the airfield now. Let's see. Whoa. Indeed we are. There's the skyline to the right. Oh, that is a cool view right there. Almost. The wing's kind of blocking it with the Burj Dubai and the gateway visible there. Let's grab that one before it's gone. Where's it gone? Huh? It's still obscured by the wing. Oh yeah, it's way there off to the left side. Let's try... Nope, that view's just all wing. There we go, that's a better one. Completely fogged in. Goodness. Alright, let's see, we got about 6,000 there. I'll probably hold 210 knots until we're on the base leg. I'm pretty sure we're below VFE next as well, so I'll want to pop slats 1 probably right around here. Just a wall of slats on this thing, my goodness. Oh yeah. God, that's cool. Alright, how are we doing? Still heading down here. Yeah, we're well on track for that. I'll zoom in another step here to 10 miles. Again, probably hold 210 knots until the base leg. So yeah, we were well within VFE nets, so just couldn't see it because it was so high up there. It was probably around 280 knots or so. That's what it was for slats 1 on the A340 at least, if I remember correctly. But yeah, so we're now with a VFE next for flaps 2 as well, so we'll be good for that when we start decelerating down. We're more than good for now, though, since we don't need to plunge any faster than this. We'll just leave that in there. There's the desert dunes ahead of us. So that looks like roads for a new housing development or something down there. There's the turn downwind. We're at 4,000. I'll roll it back to 180 here, actually. But first, let's pop flaps 2 and watch this deployment from the back. God, I love that hydraulic pump. Oh yeah. With that, let's roll it down to 210 knots now, so we'll go, or not 210, to 180 from 210. So we'll go manage speed, not manage speed, manual speed, and 180. Crank that down there. Oh, that's really cool. So it shows you the manage target before, or when you're in manual, unlike the 320 avionics. So you know exactly where it's going to pop if you re-engage manage speed. That's very useful. Alright, there was something more I was going to do down here before... Maybe there wasn't. Maybe I'm... I don't know. Because yeah, I have the transition flight level set, of course, because that was way back there. Have the minimum set. Don't you love when that happens, when there's that little blip of like, oh, I have to do something, and then you have no idea what it was? I'm probably fine. I think I'm just hallucinating things to do. Alright, let's pop up the landing scales here. Oh yeah, we're 15 miles out. I can start that left turn in right around here. So, let's see. We'll go, that's 120, so 90 left would be 30 degrees. So I'll turn left 030. There's level at 3,000. Oh, well below the glide slope too. What was ULDOT? ULDOT was... Oh, that's why I was getting myself thrown off. Okay, it's because ULDOT is the extended center line. It was SEDPO that's the 11 DME way down there, but ULDOT is 15.5 DME. So I just made my downwind leg a little bit longer than it needed to be. It'd probably be vectored a lot earlier than that in real life, but oh well. I am quite scared to see how my first landing will be in the A320. This will likely not be anything pretty at all. Let's see, I'll do a 40-degree intercept right here. Runway heading's, well, it's runway 30, which is course 299, so yeah, that's a 40-degree intercept. We'll activate approach here for that. Because yeah, that's the interesting thing I was noticing on departure too, is that for how heavy this aircraft is, and how much insane inertia it has, it is so light on the controls, because the control surfaces are just so crazy powerful. So it's going to be interesting figuring out that balance for that, to keep from being too pitchy on approach, without making a huge fool of myself in front of camera for the very first time. So, we'll see. Froggy on the Discord server always mocks me for my hard landings. This will definitely be one of them, but as I said, I'm just here to have fun. I'm already suffocating all of my passengers. It can't get much worse than that with a neck injury. That's a fun little bug. Yeah, I'm gonna have to make a note for myself to update that before my next flight in this one, before I have a nasty surprise. So I do that a lot, where I go like, oh, I have to update the aircraft to fix this bug, and then I forget to do it, and then I load it up again, and it goes, oh no, it's still there, you fool. Like, I spent maybe like 6 months on the Tolis A321 Neo version in X-Plane, where the outboard flaps would animate to like double their extension angle, because I'd updated to that version that was broken, and then they fixed it and they updated it, and I didn't update to that one, and then I'd do the flight and it'd be like, oh great, the flaps look stupid, I have to update it, and then I forget to update it, and then I fly it again and it's, oh great, the flaps look stupid because I forgot to update it, and that just went on forever because I am awesome. Oops. There's glide slope intercept. We got 10 miles out. Let's roll it back to speed 160. Glide slope captured. Gear down. I want to watch this from the outside. Oh, it's not too loud actually. That's good. I wasn't sure how loud the wind sounds would be. That is just awesome. Oh yeah. Alright, well, I have to pop flaps 3 now. Oops, still zoomed in from the exterior view. There we go. Alright, and still absolutely no visual with the runway. Maybe? No, that's still not even the airport down there. Oh, I can't tell. What a mess. Let us decelerate down to approach speed now. Nope, 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 nope. I've just been saying, good thing to keep an eye on that, where that managed speed is going to take you when you re-engage it. Because I have not activated approach yet. There we go. Now we'll go manage speed down to final approach speed. And let's drop flaps 4. that's so beautiful. Alright, well, almost to 1,000 and still no visual. Maybe I won't be able to hand fly this as much as I thought. Again, we got minimums 260 feet barrow, that's 200 RA. Let's say we're cleared to land, I'll get the nose lights on here. Let's do a quick landing checklist. Gear down 5 green on the wide body here. Flap set for landing full, speed brakes armed, auto brake set, brake to vacate. Missed approach altitude is 3,000 set, altimeter set, light set, cleared to land. There's 1,000. And I can just barely see the runway marker there, that's good. So the autopilot hasn't tried to completely kill us like it would on the the default Asobo ATR, where it just plunges below the glide slope. I love when that happens. I would usually disconnect the autopilot at 1,000 and hand fly from there, but I can't see where I'm going. I don't want to destabilize myself too much, so I really don't have the time for a go-around right now. Oh dear. But, yeah. Oh, there's some light spikes starting. Very cool. Running about 30 frames per second. Alright, there's a little bit of the runway I can see now. Yeah, like I said, I'm pretty busy in real life here, so if this gets ugly, I'll probably just commit to an ugly landing. I won't be able to do a go-around. But, let's get the flight director off.
400.
Autopilot out, my aircraft. Whoa, yeah, this is really pitchy.
100 above.
I'm already drifting to the
Minimum.
side. Okay, this is extremely sensitive on the flight controls. My goodness, that is much to get used to. It's both extremely sensitive and slow to react, so a small
50,
input...
40, 30,
flare.
20, 10,
Hold it right around there,
5.
and... Oh, that wasn't too hard, actually. It was just extremely off-center line. Alright. There's full reverse. And... 80 knots. Reverse is stowed. Where is it taking us here? Is that not Kilo 8? Okay, yeah, we're not...
Brake off.
Manual braking. Oh, that was Kilo 9? I'm lost. Let's zoom in here. That was... Yeah, okay, yeah, that was Kilo 9. I was getting ahead of myself. This is Kilo 8, this is where we want to be. The terminal illusion had been making me think I was farther along than I was. But we're good. We can just vacate right here anyways. Step on a little bit here to get down to 10 knots so I can make this tight left turn around here. It's an acute angle, so can't take it too fast. Here we go. Add a little bit of power to keep going around the corner here. This thing turns really nicely, though, when you start getting used to it. The first couple of turns I did, again in Frankfurt, when I was testing last night, I was like, oh man, this thing is going to be just miserable to taxi, but as long as you keep it behaved, it behaves itself. Alright, there we go. Let's see, runway vacated, we'll get the strobe lights off. Local light switches in up again. Wing light off, landing lights off, nose to taxi. Probably leave the turn-offs on here. Alright, let's get the APU starting. Get the APU on there, and when we're on a nice, kind of straight-ish taxi right around here, I'll pop back to the cabin again, and retract the flaps and speed brakes. Yeah, so as I was saying on approach, it's weird to get used to that hand flying feeling because the controls are so powerful, but it takes so long for an input to take effect. So like you give it a tiny little pop, and like 3 seconds later has this big huge pitch moment, it feels like. So It's going to take a lot of practice for me to get used to that. Alright, good. I didn't stray too much off the center line there. How's my APU doing? Flap open and start. Initialize weights. Yeah, go away. Can clear that warning. We'll zoom in a little bit here. This is such a nice tool, though. So yeah, we'll take that right at Juliet 3 and then in there. What do you mean stripped engine hasn't started? God, I hate GSX. It's definitely running. Yep, I guess I'll just exit that, and I'll try to restart GSX here. I don't know if it will be able to start in time. I love paying like $30 for an add-on that works almost 30% of the time. GSX moment. Okay, so this turn right here is not... Wait, is it Juliet 3? Oh, it says Juliet 3 there on that, but that's... Kilo 10, is it not? I am confused. Uh-oh. Where am I supposed to be? That is the turn I want. Okay, oh dear. Right there. Ah, I see. Alright, I was... Does the plan lag a little bit more than... No, it looks like it's right about in line. So yeah, I'd been thinking I was back there and that this turn was Kilo 10 that little bit down there instead of Juliet 3 as it was, so... Missed the turn a little bit there. How's GSX doing? We started up yet? Almost? Please? I need my parking guidance. I don't even know if the parking guidance works with the A380 yet. Might not. Yeah, still loading. And then even when it is running, sometimes, even if I have my stand selected, it'll still be just a blank docking screen when I get there. Oh well. Where's Delta 9? This should be Delta 9 right here. Yes, alright. Pop the nose lights off here in preparation for that. Do we have GSX yet? Nope. I'll just eyeball the parking, it's fine. Oops, I cannot park this thing like a 737. I have to overshoot the center line first and then turn myself around, or I'll still be sticking in at a 45-degree angle. So we need to squeeze a little bit more power out of it, though, for these tight 90-degree turns here. I don't have any ground traffic either, that's unfortunate. I've got AIG traffic for AI aircraft. It says there's 31 aircraft around me, but I'm not seeing anything. These gates should be absolutely full with Emirates wide bodies. Oh well. I wonder if even without GSX here, if INI has null VGDS capabilities. It does not. That is completely blank. Alright, I'm just gonna try to eyeball about in line with the jetway here then. Still in line, 3 knots, very good. Slow down a little bit more. Oops, that was a hefty foot on the brake pedal there. Let's just park right around there. That should be fine for now. Alright, well, with that, let's get the parking brake set. APU is available, so we can shut down all 4 engines. 1, 2, 3, and 3 and 4 off. We'll get the Adirs off, and... Oh, now GSX wants to come up. Thank you for being helpful. Just in time. Close that out. Get the fuel pumps off. Oh goodness, there's so much here I have no idea which pumps to turn off and which ones are the transfer pumps. Okay, those ones are the transfer pumps. Trim tanks, yeah, those go off as well as these ones here. Crossfeeds, those are on position for abnormal, so we'll leave those as they are, and then all of those there. Okay, good. That's our fuel tanks off configuration. Very good. How's our engines doing? Spooling down nicely. We'll get the seatbelt signs off and APU bleed off. I should probably actually pull up engine on the lower ECAM here. And 3 below 15%, we'll get the beacon lights off, and that's just about all there is to it. That's crazy. I guessed that parking perfectly on the line for just one line off. The A380 is just a notch ahead of it. If I was this 777, that would have been wild. Well, that's just about everything for this flight then. Thank you so much for joining along. This thing is so cool. It is absolutely going to be my new wide-body home. I can't believe it! After all this time, there's an A380. I'm staring at it, and I just flew it! That's so cool. Well, if you happen to make it all the way to the end, thank you so much for following along. If you enjoyed, please do consider subscribing to the Aeroteam Gaming channel. We have a lot of other fun content here, from other flight sim live streams to stuff such as Train Simulator and other video games, so check out that as well if you'd like. And if you have any other ideas for other routes or aircraft you'd like to see us fly on Flight Sim here, please do let us know. Anyways, that is just about it. So, thank you all for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.